I just saw a video of a master thief in action, pulling off what is undoubtedly the heist of the century. Experts are already calling it a real-life Ocean's 11 moment. It took place at a McDonald's, with DB Cooper here tweaking and twisting on a Ronald McDonald House charity donation box, and you can just see the surgical precision. This is not his first rodeo. He's in and out in 30 minutes, super speed like a lightning bolt. Luckily, the footage was captured on a phantom 1000 frame per second camera, otherwise we'd only see his after image. It's currently unknown how much money he made off with, but it's no doubt a fortune. I imagine that it's probably close to $10 maybe, so this is one of the most impressive cases of larceny I've ever seen here. It was also captured on camera from two separate angles here, so we damn near have a 360-degree video that we can put together of this guy's absolutely embarrassing, degenerate scumbag behavior stealing from charity. So the employee is just standing there filming this whole thing, which is exactly what they should be doing. Intervening in something like this is very dangerous to the employees, so I know they're trained not to, and this should easily lead to identifying and arresting this man. I can see every goddamn fucking strained muscle in his face as he's cranking on this, so surely someone knows him and will report him. So Robin Hood here is stealing from those in need to give to the local crack dealer. For those of you that don't know, Ronald McDonald House is a charity that, from everything I understand about it, is actually a good one. What it does is it provides services to families of sick children that are having long hospital stays. So they have things like places for them to sleep, where they can just go and sleep for free while their children are undergoing treatment at specialized hospitals, so they don't have to pay for hotels or anything like that. And from everything I know, they just provide a lot of really good services to families of sick children that are in the hospital. So to steal from something like that is unfathomably low. And sadly, it's not the only time this has happened. This guy here who looks like meth incarnate is actually someone from my neck of the woods here in Tampa. And 3 years ago, he got nicknamed the Hamburglar. And what he did is he went on this rampage from Tampa to Wesley Chapel, going to McDonald's and stealing the Ronald McDonald House charity donation boxes. And it's assumed by authorities he made off with almost $4,000. There's so much footage of this piece of shit committing the crimes too. So he rolls up in his motorcycle and he always had this red jacket with him. It was like his magician's cape for his fucking vanishing act with the charity boxes. So everywhere he went to the McDonald's, he had this jacket with him. So here's footage of him going into a McDonald's. He makes a small order. I think he just got a Coke or something, and not the Coke that he's used to. So he just did that so that way he'd have an excuse to sit at one of the tables, and he always sat next to the charity boxes. And he gets out his fucking bolt cutters here and just starts going to town. So he starts cutting away at it so that way he could free it. And you can just see in the camera footage here, there is almost no money in that. This was at the height of COVID when he was doing this, so there were even less donations in those boxes. There is probably $5 or $6 there. He eventually cuts it enough where it's free. He throws on his backpack. He leans over to, I don't know, tap it on the ass or something. I actually don't know what he does right here, but he does one little maneuver there, gets up, he gets his red jacket out, and then here comes the big finale. He fiddles with his wiener a little bit there for some reason, maybe getting a semi-chub from all this adrenaline stealing from charity, and then bingo, bango, bongo, jacket over the box, and then he just lifts it off and walks out.
It's the place. This video is from yesterday in Wesley Chapel. It shows him making several trips to break the locks, holding the Ronald McDonald House charity box in place. Then he puts it under his jacket and walks out. Finally, he uses his motorcycle to pick it up and drive off. A few dollars richer, but a million reasons to be ashamed. Here's video of the time he stole from children who are sick in Zephyr Hills, May 26th.
That's how this disgusting fucking loser committed every single one of these crimes, with that trusty jacket by his side. So, what's crazy is, despite all of the footage that exists that clearly show this man's face, to date, I don't believe he's been caught. I was trying to find an update on it because the first video with the guy stealing the charity box reminded me of the Hamburglar here. And I looked into it and I couldn't find any updates on whether or not he'd actually been arrested. So I'm led to assume that he hasn't. Which is always so surprising to me when there's so much footage that exists of a criminal committing a crime and their face attached to it. I always just assume alright, dead to rights, your goose is cooked, buster, take this, goober, they got you now. But in reality, that's just not how it works. It's not like these are blurry videos or anything. It's not like Sasquatch photos. You can clearly see the guy's face. And in my head up here. Like, when I marinate on it in my noodle, I'm always like, okay, so now they're going to easily be able to identify him. But in reality, that's just not how it works. It's not like the face is like an IP address where the second you see it, you immediately know everything about the person. But I guess the way I imagine it is if he has a criminal record, you could probably take the footage of his face and run it through some kind of facial recognition scanner through the database of the authorities and match it that way. But if he doesn't, if he's somehow squeaky clean, there's not a whole lot they could do with it, I guess. So I imagine in cases like this, you'd have to rely on people helping you identify them. Because when this came out, the authorities were making posts like on Facebook and stuff saying like, hey, we need help identifying this individual who's been stealing the Ronald McDonald House charity boxes. If you know anything, if you know him, please contact us to anonymously tip us off with who this is. And I guess there's just not many people that know this guy. I imagine his closest friends are the rats at the dumpster at the Walmart he passes out at every night after shooting up. So there probably just weren't a lot of people who recognized him. Thus, I guess he's been able to get away with it, unless there's an update I missed, but I went to like the third or fourth page of Google, which is, that's fucking forsaken territory right there. That's a barren wasteland going that deep. And I was reading through a ton of articles looking for some kind of update on this guy, and I couldn't find it, so maybe I missed it, or maybe he just really did get away with it, which is such a fucking shame. This dude's still out there on his motorcycle, cranking his hog after stealing all of that money from children and families in need. What a fucking scumbag. This guy and the first guy who stole the charity box absolutely deserve to be thrown in the slammer, obviously. And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I saw that video when a buddy of mine sent it and it immediately reminded me of this previous case. It's also clearly not desperate people in need of money that are stealing these charity boxes. Like, this guy was riding around on a fucking motorcycle, and from what I can tell, a pretty expensive motorcycle at that. So yeah, just terrible pieces of shit. That's really about it. See ya.